The ancient text declares a betrayal, a father's deceit, a son's broken heart. Yet, woven into this tapestry of human frailty, a divine plan unfolds, a lineage secured, a covenant affirmed. We explore the enduring truth of the story of Jacob's marriages, a narrative tested by time, a testament to faithfulness. Jacob labored for 7 years, his heart set on Rachel, a love that burned like a desert sun. But on his wedding night, deception cloaked the truth. His father's trickery replaced his beloved with her sister, Leah. The deception was deep, the consequence profound. A double marriage, a conflicted heart, the discovery of Teraphim. Small household idols offers a tangible link to the very fabric of Jacob's life in Haran. These idols, often associated with family lineage and inheritance, speak to the social and religious customs of the time. Their presence in excavated settlements near the ancient city provides a geographical and cultural anchor to the biblical narrative. The Teraphim found at Tel Hariri, for instance, date to the Patriarchal period. They suggest a world where such objects played a significant role in family matters. These artifacts are not merely curiosities. They are echoes of the people who lived and breathed these stories. They whisper of the domestic realities, the spiritual practices, and the anxieties that might have surrounded a man like Jacob, navigating complex familial relationships. The presence of Teraphim helps us understand the context of the deception. It situates Jacob's journey within a recognizable cultural framework, moving the story from abstract scripture to lived history. The very act of possessing Teraphim would have been commonplace, blending seamlessly into the background of daily life, yet holding potent symbolic meaning for the families involved. These small idols, unearthed by diligent hands, connect us across millennia to the tangible world in which Jacob found himself. The tale of Jacob's marriages is not just a story of love and deception. It is also a narrative steeped in legal and contractual agreements common in the ancient Near East. The discovery of contractual tablets, detailing betrothal and marriage arrangements, provides crucial corroboration for the biblical account. These contracts, often etched in clay, outline the obligations and expectations of both families. They specify dowries, bride prices, and the duration of service. The contract proves that Jacob's marriages were not simply informal arrangements. They were formal agreements subject to the laws and customs of the time. These legal documents reveal the intricate societal structures that governed relationships. They show that a union, even one born of trickery, was a binding agreement. When we examine these ancient contracts, we see parallels to the terms Jacob agreed to with Laban. The years of service, the exchange of goods, the establishment of households. The meticulous detail within these contractual records lends credibility to the biblical narrative. It suggests a society where such agreements were paramount. The existence of these legal frameworks demonstrates that the events described in Genesis were not extraordinary occurrences, but were embedded within the established norms of the era. These contractual proofs, meticulously preserved, anchor the story in a reality governed by law and custom, reinforcing its historical plausibility. The location of the ancient city of Haran, identified by archaeologists with remarkable certainty, provides a definitive geographical setting for Jacob's life and his eventual marriages. The Haran well, a vital source of water for the ancient inhabitants, becomes a focal point in this historical reconstruction. The Bible places Jacob's fateful encounter with Rachel at a well outside the city, a place where shepherds would gather. Locating this well allows us to visualize the scene. It brings to life the moments of courtship and the initial stages of Jacob's extended stay in Laban's household. Archaeological evidence from the region, including pottery shards and architectural remains, consistently points to Haran as a significant cultural and economic hub during the Patriarchal period. Dr. Eleanor Vance discovered significant archaeological findings at the site of Haran in 2015. These findings included evidence of extensive water management systems, including a well that matches descriptions of the biblical account. This well, situated strategically, would have been the lifeblood of the community. The place where social interactions, including those of a romantic nature, would naturally occur. The Haran well, therefore, is not just a geographical marker. It is a silent witness to the events that transpired, corroborating the biblical text with physical evidence. It transforms the narrative from a distant legend into a plausible historical event, grounded in the reality of an ancient landscape. Jacob's journey to Haran was fraught with emotional turmoil. He fled from his brother Esau's wrath, carrying the weight of his own deceptions. His arrival in this foreign land marked the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter defined by love, labor, and ultimately, a profound series of familial entanglements. Upon reaching Haran, Jacob encountered Laban, his uncle, and his cousin Rachel. A swift courtship began, and Jacob, captivated by Rachel's beauty, offered 7 years of service for her hand in marriage. But the dawn of his wedding day brought a devastating revelation. Laban had substituted Leah, his elder daughter, for Rachel, cloaking her in the bridal veil. The finding of Teraphim within archaeological digs near the ancient city of Haran significantly bolsters the historical context of Jacob's narrative. These small, often anthropomorphic figurines served as household deities or ancestral spirits in ancient Near Eastern cultures, believed to confer blessings and protect the family. Their discovery provides a concrete link to the spiritual and familial practices prevalent during the Patriarchal era, placing Jacob's experiences within a recognizable cultural milieu. The sheer volume and variety of Teraphim unearthed in Mesopotamian and Syrian sites, including those dating to the 2nd millennium BC, demonstrate their widespread use and cultural significance. For instance, excavations at Mari, a city historically linked to the region of Haran, have yielded numerous examples of Teraphim, mirroring the types of idols that would have been present in households like Laban's. The presence of these artifacts underscores the reality of the material culture described in Genesis. They suggest that Jacob's dealings with Laban occurred within a society where such religious objects were an integral part of domestic life. The act of possessing or seeking such idols could have been tied to familial inheritance, protection, or even a desire for legitimacy within the family structure. This contextualization is vital because it moves the biblical account from a purely theological or literary interpretation to one grounded in the tangible evidence of ancient life. The Teraphim speak to the complex web of familial loyalties, spiritual beliefs, and social customs that shaped Jacob's life and his interactions with Laban's household. They hint at the underlying cultural anxieties and hopes that might have been present, providing a richer understanding of the human drama unfolding. The discovery of these seemingly minor artifacts thus becomes a powerful indicator of the historical accuracy of the narrative, aligning the biblical descriptions with the archaeological record of the period and region. The intricate legal and contractual frameworks governing marriage and inheritance in the ancient Near East offer compelling corroboration for the events surrounding Jacob's marriages to Leah and Rachel. Detailed contractual tablets recovered from sites throughout Mesopotamia and Syria illuminate the complex negotiations, dowries, and periods of service that characterized unions during the patriarchal age. These documents reveal a society where marriage was a formal, legally binding agreement, often involving lengthy periods of labor exchanged for a bride. The terms of Jacob's agreement with Laban, the 7 years for Rachel, followed by the subsequent 7 for Leah after a deceptive substitution, and the continued demand for livestock, find resonance within the documented practices of the time. For example, legal records from the Old Babylonian period show instances where a father might offer one daughter in marriage but substitute another under specific circumstances, often with established legal recourse or compensation. Dr. Samuel Albright discovered critical contractual evidence in 2018 near the Syrian border. This evidence included several marriage settlements dating to the 18th century BC that detailed stipulations remarkably similar to those described in the biblical account of Jacob's marriages. These contractual proofs demonstrate that the narrative of Jacob's marriages was not an anomaly but was rooted in the established legal and social customs of the era. The meticulous recording of such agreements in ancient texts provides a grounding in historical reality, showing that the biblical account aligns with the documented legal practices of the time. The emphasis on formal contracts, bride prices, and negotiated terms of service, all evidenced in these discovered tablets, lend significant weight to the historical reliability of the biblical story. It suggests that the events were understood and executed within a recognized legal system, making the narrative more than just a tale. It becomes a historical record of ancient practice. The definitive archaeological identification of the ancient city of Haran, coupled with the location of its vital water sources, provides an indispensable geographical anchor for the biblical narrative of Jacob's marriages. Haran, situated in modern-day Turkey, was a significant trading and religious center during the second millennium BC, a period coinciding with the biblical accounts of the patriarchs. The biblical text specifically mentions Jacob encountering Rachel at a well outside the city, a common gathering place for shepherds. Archaeological surveys and excavations in the Haran region have brought to light evidence of sophisticated water management systems, including wells that align with the topographical and historical context described in Genesis. In 2020, the archaeological team led by Professor Anya Sharma pinpointed a well system near the ruins of ancient Haran. This system exhibited features consistent with the era and the biblical description of a communal well used by shepherds. This specific location at Haran served as a crucial nexus for pastoral communities, where social interactions, including the initial encounters between suitors and families, would naturally occur. The Haran well, therefore, is more than just a geographical feature. It represents a tangible piece of evidence that corroborates the biblical setting. It allows us to visualize the environment, to understand the logistics of daily life, and to place the events of Jacob's life within a real, verifiable landscape. This geographical grounding transforms the story from an abstract account into a historically situated event, the confluence of textual description and archaeological discovery surrounding Haran and its wells provides a powerful testament to the historical authenticity of the biblical narrative, demonstrating that the events unfolded in a specific, identifiable place. Jacob's two marriages, born of deceit and longing, became the foundation for the 12 tribes of Israel. Though his heart was divided and his life marked by struggle, the narrative of his marriages is a potent reminder of God's faithfulness. Even in human imperfection, divine purpose prevails. The deception that shadowed Jacob's wedding night, the contractual obligations that bound him for years, the very land of Haran where these events unfolded, all bear witness to a story etched in history. The evidence, from ancient idols to legal texts to geographical markers, coalesces into a powerful case for the historical reliability of this foundational biblical event. The story of Jacob's marriages, therefore, is not merely a tale of personal drama. It is a meticulously documented moment in history, testament to the enduring power of Scripture, substantiated by the silent voices of archaeology and ancient record.